Each week, Val and Amber make royal predictions and track breaking news headlines. November 22nd.
There's a problem here, and it starts right on Sunday. Pisces is Russia. This is communications.
That Sunday, England issues a warning about imminent Russian cyber threats.
Sag, these could be foreign cars fall.
Transportation failure, a report, information, or a report coming out about it.
2 days later, a report of a foreign car company's collapse.
Bad girl hurts, if not is wounded.
5 days later, Clint Eastwood's daughter celebrates hard after criminal charges are dropped. Last summer.
This is the solar arc for Queen Camilla. There's something going on around the holidays, and what does it mean? Well, Neptune shows disappear.
Oh. The death card.
The Queen disappears for parts of a state visit due to health. Will it get worse?
I am talking about predictions today for Sunday, or the week of Sunday, December 8th. Now, we use astrology and looking at the UK and the royal family for predictions and how to teach you how to make your own predictions. So if you'd like any help with your own predictions, just go to my website and order a predictive calendar or a personal reading. And finally, a special thanks to the members, the valedictorians that make this show possible. If you'd like to become one and support us, just click the join button. Cover Princess Catherine. It is right now. She looks pretty good. Has anyone seen her? She is doing her Christmas Carol concert. She looks like she's happy to be out with her family, and interested to hear your thoughts about that. So that's good. It means that she is recovering. She's feeling good, and she has to cover for others who are feeling not so good right now. We kind of left everyone on a cliffhanger there with that intro, explaining what's going on. Now, back in July, we were looking at the solar arc, which you can do for yourself. You can look at your own predictions and see what's happening. We were seeing something about Camilla and how around the holidays, we wouldn't see so much of her. Queen Camilla disappears.
Yes.
And so then you got the death card. So my thought about that is that there's potentially a chapter ending for Camilla where maybe she's not able to do some things that she wanted to do. For instance, not attend all of the events of the state banquet that they were having with the king that came into town. I can't remember his name, but it was a pretty big deal.
Qatar, yeah.
Qatar. And so what's your thought on that? Like putting it all together. Now we know that she has this viral infection, which is Neptune. It was hitting her in a very poor aspect.
Yeah.
And so what could this mean?
The death card is a transformation. It's a change of something stopping and something new beginning. And we saw so much of her this year. She was way more involved, and necessarily she had to be, but I feel like this is sort of the catalyst, this illness, this pneumonia, that she's going to have to make a change in her output and her activity level.
Absolutely.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah. So she's going to have to rest. I mean, remember, Neptune means the bed. It means to sleep.
Yeah.
So she could simply be, she disappeared because she's, back in the chamber.
Yes.
So, All right. Now let me add this and let's see here. Okay. So the first thing I have there, she is with her family. I think this was last night and looking great. This is something that she does every year, Princess Catherine. And the kids are getting older. They look older. Look at George there. Looks like a young man. And so I'm going to go back to last week just to talk a little bit about the bad girl. And also, we were talking a little bit about Princess Catherine too, in the sense of good news that's coming
Yeah.
out. But what I was seeing, just to explain to everybody, and then I'm going to turn to the chat because I want to say hi to everybody. But this is Chiron. So this is somebody who is kind of just maybe bruised. And the Black Moon Lilith is in Libra. And keeping in mind, this is the chart that we drew from last Sunday at midnight that was going to give us a prediction of the week, of the week's headlines.
Yeah.
And so Venus was like right in the middle of it. Now, I thought at first that the girl had dark hair. I think she normally has dark hair, but this is a bright blonde girl, very attractive. So the Libra would show an attractive lady, attractive woman. And in the fifth house, where was she? She was having fun. She was out there. And but here's the T square, and that's what I was looking at, was right here. So was that Francesca Eastwood? I don't know. Maybe it was also describing somebody else. Also, Capricorn, Venus in Capricorn can mean someone who's a little bit depressed. Maybe depressed about a marriage, because that's she had just been, the reason she was out partying was because she was excited that charges of domestic violence were dropped. And so that would be the Libra, the marriage, and getting, emotional wounds. But what was interesting last week that you had said, from what you're getting from the cards, was it seemed like some kind of heiress, and she will inherit the Eastwood fortune.
Money. Yes.
So I thought that was interesting. And we were talking about fashion and Sarah Jessica Parker last week. So, and sure enough, I think this was just yesterday. New rules ahead: European fashion gears up for regulatory shifts. So a lot of things having to do with the environment there. Janet, you said everyone looked wonderful at the Christmas festival. Especially love seeing so many members of the extended royal family supporting the event and our beloved Princess of Wales. Yeah, Camilla has pneumonia. I think she is recovering, though, knock on wood. So, all right. Now, this is a prediction for this week, December 8th. We are plugging into AstroSeek London for the city. And we're also plugging in midnight for Sunday. Let me get on to what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a blackout. I've got good news, but right now I see a blackout and I see a frozen train. Train, something's. Do you see something like that? Oh, God, I cannot wait. And also, I'm seeing some stuff that has to do with the television industry. So how do you want to do it? Do you want to tell me a little bit about your clues, or would you like me to go straight into?
I would love to start with the chart, but I will say movie industry, I did pull the Sagittarius card. So isn't that movie in Hollywood? And then I also pulled the Chariot in reverse. So I suspected we were talking about some kind of situation around transportation on its head. So frozen train certainly could make a lot of sense with this Chariot in reverse.
Yep. Yeah. And it's no surprise to any astrologer or people who follow astrology. We're always going to have those things happen during retrograde. But it's always a different type of profile, I think, of the Mercury retrograde. So often when we have Mercury retrograde, let's say in Capricorn, or if it's aspect in Capricorn, that is a lot of snow, and usually something pretty major. If there is a stellium in Capricorn, meaning there's a lot of energy, a lot of planets, it's going to mean a lot of things, a lot of trucks along the road. You're going to see 1,000 trucks on the road in the snow, right? But we've got a little bit different energy here. And yet, because we have Saturn and Moon together this week, that is snow. It's still snow. It's a very Capricornian energy, and we're still getting that.
That's
Okay.
true.
Yes, there's chatter that something could happen in Paris regarding Duc l'Orange. I don't know much about that, so I guess I'm learning things. Buckeye, nice to see you. Patsy, you said Wales and parts of UK on red
Oh,
weather alerts this weekend. So I'm guessing if it hits, there will be blackouts. Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
So we are going to look at that. And I'm also going
Mm,
to compare the chart with a couple of other charts that I think are pretty interesting.
okay.
Now, I just figured I'd throw this out there. First of all, are you sensing or observing how there sure is a lot of gossip about television personalities right now?
Yes.
So much like Morning Joe. Oh my God, there's a big report about them, and he's having a meltdown on television, on live television. We've
Mm,
got the is it Greg Wallace? We've
yes.
got just a lot of headlines, especially how people in the television news business
Mm,
are not doing so well. They're
yeah.
quitting, they're stepping down, all of that kind of stuff. Well, that's Gemini, and Gemini is the television news industry. We have them at the top. And I say them because Jupiter is just a lot of people. And Jupiter retrograde it means that they're flawed for some reason. They're not, for as an example, they might not, the ratings might be down. So this is a lot of people with low ratings as an example. So not to laugh because we don't like low ratings, but it would be kind of an example just to consider. So, but we've got this T square here, and it's kind of like death of television. Could be not television itself, but maybe like the the shows. There might be a stop of something.
Right.
For instance, with Greg Wallace, they're wiping everything on what is it, the Master Chef,
Yes.
wiping all of his videos from, or they're considering it or something like that. So
Yeah.
that would be an example where everything kind of just goes away, disappears, and stops.
Right.
We've got this T square here. To me, it says that there is going to be a scandal. This could also be a Saturn and Moon is dark complexion. Sometimes it can be an African American or a group of African Americans who are feeling as if they are not being treated properly or
Mm,
fairly.
yeah.
So this is sort of like a walkout with Sagittarius there. That's publications. That's
Mm,
like the tabloids. You
yeah.
open up a newspaper. So we've got newspapers, we've got newspapers and television, and it's cold. It's a winter.
Mm,
Saturn and Moon means cold and winter. So
right.
aside from the transportation, we're also talking about communications, and Saturn and Moon means black. That's the
Mhm.
word. That's a symbol
Right.
for that. So that's why I kind of like get a blackout in the
Yeah.
sense of there could be it means to be very cold and frozen. So
Right.
this could mean freezing trains. And so
Mhm.
there's my segue to the frozen train.
Yeah.
Let's see what you think about that.
Well, I actually also pulled the moon card. So I'm interested in this particular part of the chart with that moon being part of that square or the difficulty. I want to see what it is with the moon. People, Eight of Pentacles. Uh, I actually feel like this is feels like kind of a headline around it could be transportation, but it could be tied to the money aspect of it, of like workers are this and the CEO is this amount of money, or the people that are in charge are sort of fat cats with this Nine of Cups, taking advantage of people who are working and maybe they are, getting less than deserved, and there's lots of disappointment and pain around it. And it's something under the surface. This moon is always something that's a little bit hidden that is then coming to light, coming to the surface. So the moon and the star together is kind of giving me that vibe if something comes to the surface.
So I would say that's pretty good news,
Yeah.
because you get the fat cats. There's a no there. Saturn and Moon means no. There's a
Yeah.
cold. They are depressed,
Yes.
and they might be larger because Jupiter means large. So does Sagittarius.
Hmm.
So larger than life,
Right.
larger physically. We don't know. But they're those wolves again. What's up with
Yes.
that?
Yes. More wolves.
The wolves, and that's
Yeah.
Leo.
Yeah.
So Leo could be the kings of television or something like that.
Yeah.
But my question is, we're talking about, I would say, a pretty serious week coming up for,
Mm,
we're already reading about it, the weather.
yeah.
And could we talk about something that has to do with how the locals are going to do this week when it comes to weather?
Weather.
Mhm.
Mm. I just looked at the oracle card that I pulled, which is time to go. So will people have to sort of take shelter? And you had that Five of Pentacles in reverse. That makes sense now.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
people coming out of the cold, going to seek
Ah,
shelter, find shelter out of the cold.
okay.
Um, This feels like when people board up before storm, they build their moat around the castle, their safety net, getting all of their things in a row. Money. Could it affect the banking where there's no access to money or transportation? Certainly with that, it could be around like the gas, the petrol's run out or the petrol shut down. Yeah, there's your blackout. There's your blackout. Same card I had before when we talked about a blackout.
Yeah.
Like power outages. Yeah.
I think this could have a major political effect because everybody's going to be turning to the leaders here. And if these leaders are not helping, they are in trouble. Labor is in big, big trouble if there's a lot of, dying people. And now sometimes we get death, which is Saturn and Moon together, and in a T square. It's not good. But before we were looking at it, and it showed that the assisted dying bill was being spoken about. So everybody's talking about death, and that would be Gemini. So talking Gemini about death. So again, there's more of that. It's yuck. And we want to get out of that. This week, if you are part of that T square, if your sun, moon, or rising sign is part of that, that little T square that we're showing, just take it easy. It's going to pass. So but we'll all feel tired, that's for sure. There's some good news though. There's a couple of rectangles in here, and that's what you want to look at in your own chart. Look for the rectangles. Who's getting something? Who's benefiting? And unfortunately, the rising sign or the personality of this chart is in that T square, but there are some trines here. Now we can see a trine with Mars. This looks like a royal. A royal is trying to help somehow. Neptune is hospitals, taking people in. But there is help. There is some kind of plan B that's being hatched. The royals, they don't look at, because keep in mind, Mars is going retrograde today, and another reason we feel probably tired. With this, it shows like a royal that doesn't have a lot of power, a royal who's trying, but is not necessarily able to do exactly what they want to do. And so I think there could be somebody helping. I mean, in my mind, they're opening up a palace so everybody can get a warm night, or take shelter somehow. So I wonder if there's any kind of shelter involved this week. Could we pull a card that has something to do with
Yeah.
saving the people? Is
Yeah.
there a royal that's helping?
Yeah. Let's see. Mm. The death card. I mean, this is someone who does kind of come in and change things. It doesn't always have to be that it's a negative change. It's a change. They come in to help and change things. And it's someone who has the resources. And the connection. This is an emotional card too. So it's someone who does have good intentions. They want peace and happiness for other people. Oh, I knew this would come out. The Six of Pentacles. This is charity. This is coming in, bringing, resources and food and things that people need, bringing shelter. The answer, I think, is yes. We might see it earlier when we were talking about this. I saw my William card. So I wonder if we'll see him on the backside of some kind of weather event publicly about it.
Okay. Remember that helicopter, the medevacs might come in here. There are some clues about we still don't have that clue about the twins yet from last Friday. We still have the weekend, but it seems like there might be something that has to do with maybe a twin, I don't know, twin engine. Yeah.
I actually did think about when I saw the quick short clip of William and George, and they walk exactly like one another. When their gait is identical, and I thought, oh my gosh, they look like twins. The way that George walks is identical to William. Yeah.
Interesting. When did you see that?
Today. Earlier today.
Really? That's amazing.
Yes, it was them walking into the event. Yeah, to the Christmas Carol.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let me just go back here for a second. We're talking about Duck L'Orange, and apparently Golden Aura is saying 380 million pounds of royal jewels were stolen in Paris. 4 masked men with machetes stormed in a building, smashed glass cabinets. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah. And remember we were saying a little while back to switch out the jewels.
Yes.
Well, Leo's France, and
that's right.
Crazy.
Wow. I had not heard this.
I know, that was nuts. We've been talking about that for a while. The charts and cards have been showing us. And yes, sort out all your bank statements, how you're paying things after Mercury retrograde. It's likely you're going to have maybe more resources because you kind of got things organized there. And let me see.
That's neat.
Yeah. I know. Angel, you said, what is going on with this crazy weather? The solar flares, the activity from the sun, everything. We had was a comet or whatever hit the earth the other day. So it's just, I think we're just purging the end of this year, and then we're on to a new year.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just add this again. And all right. So charities are going to come in. People are going to be upset though, because of having to, it's not only is it an inconvenience for some, but it's life or death for others. But it's nice to know that, you're going to have to ask for help. You can't just sit there. You've got to move this week.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is a nice rectangle here. This also shows other things with, again, South Node in the first house. Now this first house is Sunday. Mercury is going to be coming in hard on Sunday. So that to me says maybe that weather really starts to come in. I'm not sure. I haven't checked. The South Node too is continuing to lose weight, to purge. So it shows that that England itself is purging something, and it looks like it's purging something that it wants to purge because of the rectangle. But this sure looks like online money. It looks, I don't know if anybody wants to purge that. There's a flood of something. It's a flood of data, and it seems to be, oh no, I hope not from the royals, but what? It looks like somebody's purging data, and that might be good for the people who are purging it, which is maybe why we're seeing that rectangle. But the 7th house is also diplomats and the politicians and the what do you call it? the state allies.
Yeah.
So there seems to be something. Remember, Neptune is chemicals,
Right.
gas.
Mm.
It's this could be gas that
Yeah.
they're giving it to the people, like
Yes.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're giving out gas heaters. I don't know. Let's
Or
see.
fuel. Ooh, could it be connected to that fuel
Fuel
credit, that
payments.
money?
Fuel
Yes.
payments. Yep. They're getting fuel payments online. It's like, okay, guys, here it is. Here's your check. Something like that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money there, that Venus Pluto. So
Yeah.
yay. I like good news there.
Yeah.
And then I think, as I said before, here's just the other rectangle. Again, if you see a rectangle in your chart, it's usually a nice to have. It's something that's easy. And for this, you could see it here. And the 4 points are the television journalists. Then we've got Chiron, which is healing from some way, shape, or form. Then we've got publications, and we have Black Moon Lilith in the second house. So something that just occurred to me would be, maybe publications and TV are joining together for something. There's a plan. When there's Black Moon Lilith and it's in the second house, this is a financial plan. And this is coming in on Monday. Libra is also the politicians too. So there's some kind of, I wonder if this has to do with politicians just getting their message out to the publications and to television about how to heal the people. That's not so exciting, but at least it's nice to know. What do you think?
Is Jupiter there in the 9th house? Is that still in the 9th house?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. The Sagittarius card I mentioned earlier, obviously 9th house. The only 2 astro cards I have is that with Chiron about healing.
Okay.
So I'm thinking when you're saying that about the publications, but let me clarify. This Chiron card, the Lovers. This is going back to something. This is like going back. Yeah, this is like going back to something that would have been beneficial. It's like maybe a new partnership, but from the past, like working together, doing well together, but then not, and now coming back around to it.
Okay.
It's like a healed partnership.
I think it's the allies. Now, keeping in mind, Neptune is secrets. It's Russia. It is listening in. It is, could it be spying? Let me see. No, not on this one. It would be the other rectangle, I think. Here.
It could be lots of communication.
It seems as if the spies are working together and they're getting some kind of information that is helpful to the people.
Yeah.
And it almost looks like because of, I'm trying to think here. There's not exactly a square, I don't think, but let me see. Yeah, I think this could be good news. I mean, I could be wrong, but because we have this is Russia here, and there is a square to part of fortune. This is somebody trying to do something nefarious, and it's not working to the effect that is intended. So, can you see that? Yeah. So that's a possibility there. But as far as what you're saying, remind me what you were saying with the rectangle again.
It feels like a renewed or healed partnership between two people, two things, two countries, something there's healed. And there's like open communication. Communication is like flowing very easily.
And with Sag there, that's the US. So the US could be helping in some way, or there could be some past publications. That's weird.
It's something from the past. Yeah.
Something from the past. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, Now, the third house is people's neighborhoods. It's their
Mm.
yards. So it looks like, ice in the driveway. But at the same time, it does look like with the third house as a neighborhood, trining Mars in Leo.
Hmm.
Uh, it looks like strength of some sort.
Yeah.
They're this could have something to do with sports.
Huh.
Could be something that has to do with families and happiness and maybe
Hmm.
maybe some kind of book that's coming out that everybody's talking about. Maybe that would be as of Sunday because
Hmm.
Mercury is activating. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of books come out. We talk about
Yeah.
books from time to time here.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is which one was this? Oh, yeah. This was 1965, and you could see a T square here. This one was when Malcolm X was assassinated.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so you could see all that Pisces there, and you could see how there is the T square. Now, keeping in mind, you've got Uranus here, and that is a big shock. We don't have that this week. And Pluto is in here, a huge, huge shock among the people who are less fortunate. And
Mhm.
so, and it's all over the TV. You can see Gemini coming in here. And the reason I put this up here because I wanted you to see how television is like kind of they don't know what to put out there.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on. It's like Havoc, and
Mm.
just a lot of people who are maybe fed up with
Mm.
the situation. So I
Yeah.
think that still could come in, but we talked about the winter payments and it's
Yeah.
probably something about that. But
Yeah.
still it's like protest, it's gas, it's
Yeah.
that kind of thing when it's in this type of configuration.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and also that was the chart for Bloody Sunday. So and
Oh.
that's there was a murder of Jimmy Lee Jackson. There were marchers.
Yeah.
Jimmy Lee Jackson, who was a Leo, was a 26-year-old activist who was shot and killed by police during a peaceful protest. So there were people who were protesting. They were fed up.
Yeah.
And then also I put this
Ah.
as a note, but yeah, it's called the sea gem. Okay. Oil rig collapses. So oil is
Oh,
part of
yes.
the equation. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so that's our freezing water there, and but yet there's somebody who's coming in. The police, they're coming in, and all right.
Mm.
So now we're going to go on to Prince George, and we're going to look at his. And this is really the topic for the show, which is flood of something, flood of tears. We
Mm.
see it a little bit with Prince George's chart here, and the reason I'm saying that
Mm.
is that Neptune is at 29 degrees right on sheet this year. This is his Prince George's solar return chart that starts. The first house starts July 22nd, which is last July. And so we've got Neptune way, way up at the top of the chart.
Mm.
And this is a tragedy that is of the government of what you're seeing out in the open.
Yeah.
And yet the MC, the Lord, and the MC represents mom.
Ah.
The MC Lord represents mom.
Right.
And that is Neptune. And so this is Kate up there, up at the top. Now,
Yeah.
Saturn represents something in history that's very important. It represents responsibility. So it's kind of like mom's
Yeah.
responsibility is way, way, way out there.
Yeah.
And I thought it might have something to do with what she's doing to help the people. But
Yeah.
here's the problem. We've got it's kind of a nefarious person
Ooh.
here bringing her down.
Yeah.
And we don't know who that is. Could be a politician, could be somebody who says, she's not doing that. That's our job. That would be an example.
Yeah.
But somebody even in her home that is maybe bringing her, making it so that she cannot be a 10 out of 10, full capacity out there. She's got to worry about something in the house. Now, already in the news, it's been said that Prince William is consoling her. She's pretty shaken up about what has happened when their farm equipment was stolen and there were thieves that came into their property.
Yeah.
But this looks like it could be a pretty nefarious person. And I wondered what you could get out of that.
Yeah, let's see. This is a Scorpio king. Masculine, emotionally connected, father type figure, keeping her from talking, maybe even controlling or manipulating words or speeches, or communication ability is halted. And it could be around talking about money and power and control in that way, or power, I guess is a better word.
Aha.
It feels very masculine, but very Scorpio energy. It's definitely given a big old headache. It causes her stress.
Yes. Yes. And Jan, you said something about insurance claim. Yeah, there was something, I was just thinking about that too, because Pisces is insurance. And I want to see what you're saying here. Something about insurance. Jan, you said, I live in the UK, don't want to get arrested. Yes, Angel. What's that?
We missed something in the
I
chat.
know we did. Okay, Jan, you said Angel D, much reporting in UK on Beck saying he did charity work to get a knighthood. Sadiq has done no good work. Allegedly, he's on Starmer's big gong list. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Angel says, I feel like everyone is fed up at the moment. That's true. Okay. Oh, yeah. Do you want to? I feel like we've answered this, but do you feel like giving this a go?
Sure. I was thinking about them the other day. Don't remember why, but they crossed my mind.
Probably they were in your feed.
Oh my goodness. And we're asking about knighthood. The high priestess. I would say this is a yes. I could see this for sure.
Wow. Okay. Way to go, Bex.
Yes.
All right. I feel like, okay, here's a question about Bex. I feel as if he is secretly in a good space with Prince Harry, but they don't, like, I think they still talk. They both are nice people.
Yeah.
I think there's still communication there. Is their relationship, Prince Harry and Bex, is there still a connection with them or some kind of communication?
Yes. Yes. It's the Page of Cups, which does sort of indicate like it's a Pisces energy. So is the High Priestess, which the High Priestess keeps all the secrets. She doesn't spill the tea. And this is sort of at a distance across, land and sea. And it's very minimal. It's minimal.
I mean, knowing Harry, he's such a nice guy. Like it wouldn't surprise me if he was like, look, if you want your knighthood, I'm going to tell you how to get your knighthood.
Right.
So just let's give this 1 year and we won't talk. Because really, if you think about it, Prince Harry has had, I think, 6 lawsuits. At least one has been against the home. Is it called the home state, which is kind of Prince William's territory on not getting his security. So they feel he's like, a litigious type of person and a little toxic. So, but he has his reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
okay.
Yeah. Scorpio and Swords cards, of course. Right. Thanks, Steph. Yes, we need more likes. If you like this show, please hit the like button. It helps us and helps get the word out to other people who, for some reason, they don't know about us. And let's see. Jan, you said King has doubled the public duty of Willie this year. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
And yes, Christine, you're answering a question there about Princess Catherine, very close to her father. Now, okay, this is Prince George's chart. And this looks like there is government fraud up at the top here. Now, it's like he's a kid. How's that going to have anything to do with all of this? But it might be just like words that he's hearing.
Yeah.
And keeping in mind, too, I think this is also a validation that Princess Catherine is still suffering because Black Moon Lilith is a flaw. It is sometimes a disease and can throw you off balance. Libra is balance. So she's off balance for some reason there.
Yeah.
Okay. And so really what's really interesting is that this is April. The 10th house for him is April.
Okay.
And so in order to look at your own solar return chart, you would have to look at the first house as your first birthday month of your last birthday. And then for him, it starts July 22nd. So July, August, September, October, and move around to, the stellium in the house, especially something like this. You want to know, how's mom doing? You're going to look at the MC Lord, which is Neptune, but sure looks like she's got a lot of great things going for her as well. I mean, she gets so famous. Like, how could she get any more famous? Well, she does. Okay. So now quickly, I know a lot of people are, they're like, why are you looking at Princess Anne? But it does kind of inform how we see our own charts. And it looks tough for her. This is her solar return chart. It starts August 14th, 2024. And right around here, we are, let me see, make sure you can see that.
Yep.
Okay. Right around here, there is some problems. And this looks like her husband. I don't know much about her husband, but it looks like there could be some type of maybe an illness or a disagreement of some sort. But it doesn't look very easy for her. And it seems as if maybe a scandal's coming in. So that would be Neptune represents scandal. And then, of course, squaring Gemini, that's gossip. It's gossip and it's also like TV news. So something's going to be on the TV news. And what's going on whenever you see Black Moon Lilith opposing the planet that rules your partner, they might be doing something they're not supposed to be doing, and they don't care.
Right.
So when would this be? This would be August, September, October, November, December, January, February. This isn't, well, let's see here. Wait a minute. Because Neptune rules her 6th house. So it's going to be coming in probably actually around Christmas time, because it's a little bit before we're going to look at when Pisces starts.
Yeah.
And so probably the last few days of December. What do you think is coming up here? It looks very difficult. And she's going to be very happy that January is over with, I think.
So much of did you say like fighting, arguing? Yeah, there's like a lot of Gemini, Mercury energy, difficult challenge around maybe a marriage.
Yeah.
That Justice card.
She's not having something, I'll tell you that.
And something is revealed. It's secret and it is brought to the surface and the light is shot. The truth comes out. There's something. This could also be a doctor, though. So the doctor might shed light on something, but it feels like about her partner.
Yeah, it's a partner. Okay, so what card is the truth comes out?
This is going to be this Justice card with the Chariot. And I'm sorry, the Moon. Again with the Moon.
Okay, yes. So this is the second time we got that in this show.
Yeah.
Truth is coming out.
Yeah, and the King of Swords tells the truth very, very directly. This is about hearing something truthful and honest.
Does it mean that something that they deserve is coming to them? Would that be a swords type of thing?
Well, they're in the upright. So the King of Swords in the Justice card, it's like it's something beneficial ultimately, but it's after this energy that first came out, which is very difficult.
Okay.
Like there's a settlement thereafter.
You know, if you were to see something like, like this with that, it's a stellium of 3 or more planets, you would look at this and you'd be like, ouch, what is that?
Yeah.
And how can I offset this somehow? So you look for the blue lines.
Mm.
And it does look like there's some kind of channel here where you can see this is the light. Well, because Pluto's right close to that 5th house and the 4th house, this is kind of like the family is helping maybe a little bit. There could be, God, I hope it's not a pregnancy. Pluto would be a pregnancy.
In the 5th house.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do something like that. But
No.
all right. So, but the Anne decade. Now that the reason I say that is because Black Moon Lilith would be something like that, where it's like, oh well, sorry, deal with it. You know, and you're like, what? So this is Anne's decade chart. You know, I love a good decade chart. And so this is 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. And it started August. So right here, the 5th house, all about family. And there's that Neptune there. Very, very difficult. Squaring Gemini, where there's some kind of, I mean, it is a scandal. It's going to be a scandal. And it's in the middle of the year, which is between August and August. So it seems like it's going to be difficult. However, she does have this blue line here to these planets. What is Capricorn? Capricorn is tradition. It is strength, stability. It's more stability than strength.
Yeah.
And there sure are a lot of people. It looks like there's a lot of help. There's because of Neptune. Neptune is help and doctors.
Right.
You know, it could be something health related, but you got to wonder.
Would Capricorn also be reputation? Does it represent your reputation?
Yeah, 10th house could be reputation. 10th house is a Capricorn house.
Yeah.
Yeah, where she's restoring something. But keeping in mind, Jupiter is a husband, and it is retrograde in her 10-year decade. So there seems as if there's at the very least, look how Jupiter is trining Algol here. I mean, I wouldn't want to say anything bad because you get to the point in your life when you just get sick, you know, and you have troubles there. So it's definitely the partner issue is going to it's going to throw her for a loop. Now, this is Prince Harry's chart, solar return chart starting in September. So check this out. So we've got, September 15th, it starts on the rising sign. And then we've got September, October, November, December. December 15th. So December 15th is coming up. Now, we can go before December 15th because Saturn starts to activate. So I think it's activating right about now. We would light up the area where in the chart, this is the time frame right now. And so where are we going to look? We're going to look at the Lord of Capricorn, and that's going to be Saturn here. Well, this month, because it's retrograde, ruled by a retrograde planet, it's like, it's not the best. Yeah. And it's going to happen for everybody. All of us are going to have one retrograde planet of the month where we're just not so thrilled. Yeah. But check this out. Okay. His older brother, William, is the sun. And this is happening right now. This is a battle. This is bad. And it is in the 9th house. It is foreign communications. Of course it's gonna be like, no, I'm not talking to you. I don't want to talk to you about anything. But the 9th house is also the court too. And it looks as if possibly Prince William is doing something behind the scenes to affect some kind of maybe a judge, because Jupiter represents judge. Jupiter in Gemini represents 2 judges. It's a twin of something. And he's like, No, this is another part of maybe brotherly revenge. Maybe. What do you think that is?
Let's see.
Oh, wait, hold.
Thank you, Mercury retrograde. Yeah, 10 of Swords. It's like, why are we beating this dead horse? And then that 9 of Swords. That's a retrograde right there. But the 10 to the 9, revisiting the same pain, and it's already done with the 10 of Swords. That's really interesting. You know, Harry may make some kind of attempt to reconcile or offer something to the royal family. That's what I'm seeing. Some kind of little mini peace offering, but I don't think it's actually going to do anything to change the circumstance.
It's definitely a no. It is an absolute no. But
No.
the problem is, Saturn opposing the sun at 22. This is something that has to do with health and your body. And it's also secrets too. So I wonder if it has to do with blocking a big secret. And maybe Prince Harry wants to bring it to either the press or the court. I'm going to say it's the press.
I just got the justice card, which can be court for sure, judges, like you said. But I'm actually asking, what is it around? What is the secret? And here we have that Empress again.
Whoa.
The pregnant Empress.
What?
And then when you said secret, this was on the bottom, the Hermit card, which is, he keeps secrets just like the High Priestess does. So is Meghan secretly pregnant? I don't know. Does someone leak it and they blame William?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, Kate. And let's see. Christine, court case Harry. He's there's a long war, and good, because what they did to get his information is just wrong. You can't just sweep it under the rug and say, well, those were the times, and it's not like that anymore. No.
Yeah.
Hey, Shauna, nice to see you. So you were asking, is that Princess Di who? And the Empress.
Interesting.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah, usually the Empress is a younger woman and she's pregnant.
Okay.
It's a mother.
What?
Someone who's mother.
Hey, Lisa, no worries. And yeah, I know, Jan, I'm not going to put that up, but yeah, you're wondering who the High Priestess is. Maybe somebody that everyone says is the mistress is pregnant again. I don't know.
Maybe.
I know, Angel. You're like, uh-oh.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, let's see here. We have, and then just one more thing about the whole Pisces stellium. Back in 1819, the Peterloo massacre occurred. Now, not saying this is an attack, because the attacks usually have Uranus related to it, but it still had the same type of energy. And there was Sagittarius. I'm going to show you the chart, but the rally was led by Henry Hunt being Sagittarius, a radical leader, and was intended, there was discontent, and it was, there was a bunch of people who were killed, 500 people were injured, 11 were killed. And so, but what happened was the government came and they basically attacked people who were protesting. So this is the chart for that. And you can see there's Sagittarius, and yet another, this is a grand square here, but with Pisces here at the top. And we don't have this week, but you could see Chiron and Pluto's lots of wounds, and with this Sag here being, somebody would be named Hunt. I don't know if you remember, there were two on another topic. There were two, I think it was 2 shows ago, where
Mhm.
we were talking about a murder.
Yeah.
We're like, what murder is going to be in the news?
Yeah.
And I think that is Henderson, Brian
Oh.
Henderson, who they're looking for. And what's happening right now? A manhunt. So they're
Mhm.
hunting for someone.
Right.
And I'm planning on going on online this weekend,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about that a little bit. Hopefully, I can,
Yeah.
ask you for your help. But
Yeah.
it will be very interesting to see. Already, we have, I
Mhm.
think, 2 different people in that
Ooh.
manhunt.
Oh,
One, the police thought was the murderer,
right.
and the internet says no. And so what is
Really?
that? That is a twin. So we're seeing
Uh-huh.
Gemini. We're
Mm.
already seeing that in that crime chart. So not to get
Wow.
off the topic, but it is
Yeah.
Gemini, it is Sag. Who is going to be, oh, here's a question for you. And then I think we're gonna wrap up.
Yeah.
But is there somebody, like, what's the hunt? Obviously, there is a manhunt, but could there be a hunter, some type of, well, we want to know what the Sag energy is for this week. Still could be somebody religious. So,
Yeah.
oh, and I wanted to, you know what? I'm gonna save that comment
Yeah.
s- till after. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I just can't get over these 2 single cards, the Sagittarius and Chiron. And I thought about being hurt on a horse. That has certainly, we've seen that. Now you're talking about Sagittarius and the hunt, and injuries and wounds with Chiron. Those 2 cards. It's like the theme is
That's
jumping
wild.
out,
Mhm.
jumping out. So let's see this for this week. Now that I have that dialed in. Do you see? I'd love to know about Venus.
Okay. Uh,
In the mix.
okay. Let me go.
Because I
Yeah.
have women and children.
Yeah, I know. You've had that for a while. I
Yes.
have also had it in the charts. This is okay, here's the chart. And why? Because Mercury is kids, and
Yeah.
it's also African American kids.
Mm.
There is there's a lot of women that they are helping, I think. I don't know. It might not be the same for you here, but it
Yeah.
sure looks like they're helping, maybe giving money or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, what do
Yeah,
you think?
there's a prominent woman in children. They're in the upright, so they're not in their detriment in terms of the pull of the Empress and the Six of Cups. But this feels like it could be like a nun or a spiritual woman who has a school, or a Catholic leader that's a woman with children, like an orphanage could be. It's like the woman who runs an
Mhm.
orphanage or a place for children to go.
Oh, you know what just happened? This just came out in the news today, but it's not England. It
Oh,
is an Italian nun that was working for the mafia.
what?
And the mafia were like, "Don't worry, we got somebody on the inside." Like, it was like some kind of, she was a very
Oh,
religious woman. And so I'm not sure what that whole story is, but so that's coming out. There definitely is that religious female figure that's coming
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Let me
And
see.
the hermit again, that's another spiritual guide or leader that comes out a lot.
Okay.
Hmm.
Right. Peterloo Massacre was People's Uprising. Exactly. Kind of like the energy we're getting.
Yeah.
And let's see. Um, uh-oh. Somebody's deleting what they put up there. Eleanor, what did you write? Disappeared, called. Yeah, they were of a religion.
Yeah.
Disappointed, though, called to attend court.
Hmm.
Okay. They were okay. They were on the Bibby Stockholm Bridge. Okay. Manhunt for 2 visitors who have disappeared. Okay.
Oh,
So there is the manhunt. Yes.
yes.
And
Currently happening?
I guess if
Wow.
now regarding the whole Brian Henderson case, murder,
Right.
uh, we've got a big situation here where like a lot of people are rejoicing about it because they are so upset in the
Agree.
insurance industry. They're insurance
Yeah.
activists and people who have been done wrong by his insurance company, and particularly they
Yeah.
claim. But when we were talking about a murder, this was 2 shows ago,
Mhm.
and I'm going to show it in the next intro, I think. I was
Yeah.
like, who's everybody talking about? It's like some kind of murder.
Yeah.
And you pulled up something that looked religious, but
Mhm.
you also said it was the mentor protege card.
Mhm.
And so I thought maybe as a teaser, and then this is the last card, I promise.
Mm.
Um, what could we get more information on the Brian Henderson
Yeah.
case?
Yeah.
This has got worldwide, I think, consequences.
Mhm. Mm. I we have to end the show soon because I'm freaking out. The card you were referring to from 2 shows ago was this card. This
Yes.
is
Oh
the
my
same
God.
card.
I'm
3 of
getting
Pentacles.
chills.
I I can't. But it is someone. I was asking sort of who will they find? This is someone riding off and running away, and they're young. They are young, but they view themselves as a messenger. And it's interesting. There's going to be maybe a manifesto or some kind of messaging from whoever the suspect ultimately is. And maybe they were some kind of intern or would be whistleblower within that industry. But they coming in hot with the information and ready to spill all the tea.
Okay. Yeah, maybe
Can't believe I got that card.
he knew Henderson. I thought it was interesting how, as he was shot, and I think we're gonna get some more kind of, disturbing imagery because you could see that in the chart,
Yeah.
of somebody, they're just gonna put it out there, the police
Right.
or the whoever it is, the television news. But, it seems that when he was walking along
Mm,
the path there by the Hilton, and this was in New York City, and this was it, December 4th, I think it was?
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
can't remember the date, but anyway, it was just recently, and as he stumbles, he looks behind him, he wants to see who it is, and so it'll be
Ooh,
we're gonna look at the chart to see if they knew each other or not,
yeah.
and there's also been thoughts about whether somebody in his inner circle was
Mm,
involved. So we'll be very
mm,
interested to see what you get for that. And then, of course, we
yeah.
need to do another Hannah Kobayashi follow-up
Yes.
where they found out that she could have been involved in a green card scam. So
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's wild. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Kimberly Angel denied opposed language used by insurance to deny claims. Yeah, that's a whole other topic. But anyway, hope we gave you some royal tea today. And also keep in mind, last July, that show that we did, I believe it was December 17th, was a really pivotal day for Camilla. So we're going to have to see how she's doing. Hopefully she's getting better. But
Yeah.
it seems like there's a lot of things that are kind of culminating for her
Yeah.
around the holidays, around that date. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Amber, and thanks everybody else. And we'll see you this weekend.
See you soon.